Yeah. So, welcome to migration workshop session. Well, actually, it won't be workshop, but more like demo from like how to migrate things from different sources, from database, from JSON, from CSV, from XML, and yeah, that was the main content of this session. So about me, I work for Wunder for 2 and a little bit more years. Started as intern, then I stayed there, and now I'm here. Yes, and I'm from Latvia company from Latvia. So today we will look into the actual migrations, and we'll do actual migrations from these sources. These migrations aren't perfect. I just today did some changes because of the core updates, because core is updating and also migration module is updating, and there are things that is changed. So we need to start. We need Drupal core 8.3.2 installation. It is latest. I think it's week about old, and we need our created migrate source example module, which you can find on GitHub. If you just search migrate source example, it should be the first result. So yeah, and of course the latest migrate tools, migrate plus, and migrate source CSV modules from Drupal.org. Yeah. So let's see what's inside this study. So first I have set up a Drupal site, and I should enable. Okay, first I will show the structure of this example module. So there is this migrate plus, which you can't maybe see, maybe not, source and such. Inside that there is different modules for CSV, database, JSON, XML, and there is also a set of module which installs the configuration what we need for these migrations, the content type, the roles, everything what we need. Yeah. And inside each these modules there is configuration files, source plugins, and so on. So the first will be I will show from database. Basically, this database module installs the tables in our Drupal database, which we assume as the legacy database. I think it's already. Yeah. There's double dash, okay. Yeah, it's already installed. MS or migrate status, I had already imported, but I will delete it right away. So -- all means that I roll back all migrations what is migrated. I can use also this exact migration, and when we list all migrations, we see that there is a total 15, imported 0, and unprocessed 15. So let's roll back everything, and yes. So let's dig into this configuration files. Well, I start with user. So as you see in sorry, what's your name? Yari's presentation. There is this default look of migration configuration file. The first is source. Source migration is using plugin migration source example db user. Then there is process. We're using some plugin, the dupe entity for name name field. The dupe entity means that it uses two unique fields: entity type, which is user, and field name. It means that field can't be same for two rows for two entities. If there is user Lauris, you can't migrate another user with name Lauris. It will make Lauris 1. So this is like some safety net. Also, we add roles in database. There is, I can zoom it. I can't really zoom it like this, but there is role 1 and 2, which stands for here. 1 is administrator, 2 is for editor. We map it using static map plugin. Then there is mail, which is migrating directly, and initial mail, again mail, status default value, and default value is 1, which means active. And destination plugin, entity and user. So let's migrate just user. Free created, and let's see. Yeah, there they are, nifs, nufs, and nufs. And for the first one, there is 2 roles, administrator and editor. Yeah. Yeah. Next one is image. It's quite simple one. Or, well, depends of what you mean with simple. The plugin is quite, yeah, there is this, where is query, yeah, select just FID and file name. And here in prepare row, it catch the path and match to the destinations. Images, yes, source path concat using concat plugin. Then there is delimiter slash and source constants, which is here defined source images together with public, and in that way migration finds the source of actual file. And after that, URI, which was, don't remember right away, but yeah, it's using the same exact values as for full path and for the destination. Next is categories. Categories which describes something. In this case, book category. If it's some spy or science fiction or whatever. So also there is source using Migrate plugin. Then there is attribute type, which we use on this plugin in the query. This configuration attribute type, in which case on database it's attribute authors or attribute category. So we migrate from the one table both authors and categories, but using different configuration files to map in which vocabulary we want to migrate, either authors vocabulary or category vocabulary. Yes. Okay. Then there is, yes, this is author, like attribute type is authors, and all the same thing. And then there is book migrations, which use all these previous migrations and connects everything. If we migrate users, so we connect here in bottom, where is users? Where users? UID. UID. We use migration lookup plugin. Before this version of core, it was used just migration, but since 8.3.2, it used migration lookup. They just changed its name, but you can also use still this migration, but later on you should change the name for the migration lookup. Basically do the same, but for in the future, some reasons they change it. Yeah, we select which migration we should use to map these users, and of course users in this case will be just numbers, and using these numbers and this migrations understands which user, which ID for which entity should match. Yeah. Then there is title, body, and body format. For body format, there is again static map, which maps for one plain text, for two static HTML. Again, there is authors, and for category we use here explode, because for some books there is more than one category, and we use two plugins here, so explode and again migration lookup. Field cover, again file migration use it. Created format date, path, which basically means alias. If there is in source there isn't value for that, we can put skip on empty, which will just, okay, there's no value, we will skip that and continue with other ones. And some concat module, which makes this path more clean. So let's migrate everything what we have here. Drush migrate import. We use group, and group name is this one, migrate source example DB. So as we can see, the 3 authors are migrated, 0 users isn't migrated because we did it before. The category 3 is migrated, the images 10 is migrated, and also books are migrated 15. So let's see what's happening here. Okay, this. So if we click edit, then we can see that there is the title, the body formatter, the author, the image, and also the 2 categories. Everything is in place. Don't know if for this book, no, for this, no. This migration do also translations. It's basically it's not migrating source language and then some other, but it does all together. It do quite simple. There is this lookup destination IDs where this method checks if this book ID, which is BID, if this is already migrated. If that value already is in map table. If it is, it's connect and gives this NID destination ID to source language. Did I explain? Okay.
And the book ID is in the source database.
Book ID is in source database. Here there's ID 1 to 15, and there's BID 1 to 10, and then there is some 5 translations for the other ones. There is 9, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
So the book IDs are the same between translations?
Yeah. Because this is the common thing to which how to tell migration, okay, this is this. So yeah. And yeah, all these 5 Latvian books are translated there is the 2 towers, and for Latvian it's divi torņi, but as you can see the ID here is 19, and if we see translation, it's already translated 2 towers and divi torņi. It's divi torņi. Body in Latvian, author in the same, image the same, and category is also the same. One thing, in one project I did migrations, translations, migrate translations for content that was already in Drupal, and it was interesting that you shouldn't migrate if this field is not translated. If a field is for all language the same, you can even don't forget them. You need those who have translated fields. Yes. What can I else tell about this migration? Yeah, that was mostly about that. Questions so far, maybe? Okay. I will roll back everything I migrated, because in the next migration I will migrate basically the same thing but from different source. So I will disable database module and enable CSV. Here you can see that also migrate source CSV module is enabled. So drush migrate status. You can see that there is again mostly the same, but we have extra migrations just for book translations. You can do in both ways. When we were making this workshop for DrupalCamp Nordics last autumn, we just managed to make this translation thing in one migration just for a database. And for this, I also didn't have so much time to prepare for 100%. But yeah. Source. What looks like? What source looks like? The source is like this. Nothing really different. Instead of one or two, here is administrator and editor in text. So on configuration for roles there is no mapping. There is just explode plugin which will explode these two items to understand that there are two roles, not one. Image is the same, category there's a little bit different. Category is in different source, there's no attributes but category and authors. Books and translation of 5 books. Okay, Drush MI. This time I will use all because if I will leave the database migration open enabled, then it will show CSV migrations and also these database migrations, and then I should use this group and this group, but for now I can use all tag. Okay, I got some error for some reason. Failed because exception. You have request non. You also have, yeah? Okay. So in morning it was fine, but okay. Should check. Tomorrow we have a code sprint. Maybe we can fix it. Yeah, but basically everything the same. Is everything in place? Author, image, categories, text format, body, and yeah. Don't know why now language translation migration failed, but okay. If we look on source plugin, I didn't write this by my own, my colleague did this. There's only one plugin for all these migrations. I guess it gets all the things from the configuration files. So if you look on books, there is source plugin this path for which source file we should check, header row count, so the first from where we look for these source IDs, and then there is key which checks which row it's which row, and some constants. Process quite similar to database migration. Default value book, which is for type, so the bundle type book. User migrations also we use the previous, which is migrate source example CSV user, title, body format, line code, field authors, field category, cover, date, path, destinations. There is also migration dependencies, which is required to migrate things. So we need before run user, author, category, and image migrations to migrate books. Okay. here, here, close category. Yeah, it's basically the same. Okay. All right. Questions, maybe? Okay, I will continue with JSON migration. Okay, so I will roll back everything that won't mess with the next one. JSON and CSV. Okay. What looks like? How looks JSON source file? Yeah. Attributes this time is also in one file, but in different levels. So authors, then there is ID 1, 2, 3 with values, and category 1, 2, 3 with the other values. And yeah, it's nothing complicated, but yeah. And where Drush MS. Okay, now I got some errors about that I didn't find the sources, and because I should say migration what is the base path, because the end of the path is JSON books, which is here, but this default is not correct for me. So we do migrate status URI. In my case, DrupalCamp Nordics.dev/web, and we see that there is migration finds the source migrations, the sources. And again, Drush migrate import. Let's try to import books. It should say that I can't import books. Yeah, it says something weird. Let's migrate whole group. And also says some weird things. Yeah, thank you. I still need set URI. URI. Web. Yes, and now everything is migrated. Yeah. Nothing else changed since last migration in files or plugins. Or no, in plugins I guess there is some changes. Controllers, there is no plugins, but there is controllers, which says that where should find these sources, and everything else is done in configuration. So we can see the source is quite long still process. So yeah, all the matching is done here. Field book ID, label, and selector. This selector is DC and should be. No. Yeah. So that ID was this ID. So title, body, again body format, image, author, category, UID, created an alias. And then there is process which looks the same mostly. Yeah, and destination node, type here book. Yeah, that's how it's done. Okay. Let's roll back. For rollback, you don't need to specify URI. Okay, and the last one, JSON XML. XML. Also, this JSON. Okay. MS. Yes, it's found. And what looks XML source? Sources looks like this. Yeah, as Jari said, that sources for XML is quite complicated. Source can be stored in this way. Content can be stored in this way. There is media resources. When in media tag there is values, then there is books where in each tag has values. So it could be different and complicated. Users, yes. What looks plugins? Process, there is one process plugin. Extract attribute values, which is what it does. I guess it differs attribute authors and attribute category. Yeah. And here also here the source part is quite long. We specify what and where is stored and where should find it. The process is basically the same. Field authors, if we check, this was no books, users, where is authors? No, don't remember what yet. Why there was this explode. Okay. Yeah, okay, let's try migrate. Migrate group, migrate source examples XML. Okay, and I got some fails. This was the migration I didn't fixed yet, and the issue is that the migration don't like that in books sources there is category 2 and 3. It likes if there is only one value, and I don't know why this migration don't like it. Yeah. maybe tomorrow we can check and maybe we can fix this. Because for also for other migrations this was the issue, but I a little bit changed the configuration file and even source to make this workshop quite nice. But I leave this one for that there is some issues and I should or someone need to check what's and why is so. Yeah. This is from the code. Migration API. There is documentation. What's interesting. Overview. Here you can see all the process plugins which was used. Concat, the dupe entity, default value, explode, extract, and such. Machine name, migration, which now it's called migration lookup since this version. Skip on empty, skip row if it's not set, static map, and yeah, you can write your own process plugins if you need. Yes. Also, there is on this our example module branch for a spreadsheet. You can migrate from spreadsheets, from XML, no, from XLS or what was this format? I don't know. So yeah, you can Drupal org projects migrate spreadsheet. Yeah, there is modules that helps you to migrate from these sources. ODS, XLS, XLSX, and also from CSV. So yeah, yeah. As I said, this core migrate module is still in experimental mode. So be aware that at some point something won't work, as we saw that something was missing or wrong, and we should also update this module. We started build this year and a half ago, when was Drupal, I think even 8.0, and now it's 8.3. So things are changing, and we should look and keep on our eye on the API, what's changing. So yeah, questions, if any. Okay.
How
Yeah.
it's doing with images?
What you mean?
There was some images for translation. I missed the beginning.
Okay. The images, I'll open database images. Basically, it's finding the source path. You should tell where it's located, and then it finds the path, and it copy the files and put in your where it should be. Images. Query. Yeah. So base module path concretion something constants used. And remember that when you update these YAML files, you should uninstall and then again install the module, because the configuration is stored in database and you should remove this configuration from databases. We use in install there is update hook, not update hook, but uninstall hook, where these configurations are deleted.
Can't you do that also by setting the dependencies as enforced? Configuration YAML, so that it will migration configuration will depend. It will be forced to depend on the module being installed. So if you uninstall the module, Drupal will.
Yeah.
The configuration by itself.
Yeah. Okay. There is different ways how to deal it. Last Drupal 8 migration I did in autumn, and the last migration was to Drupal 7. There was one project where it wasn't needed still, but yeah, it was fun to remember how it was done in that old times, but still works. Yeah. Also, my colleague just migrated, and quite well migrated, content from WordPress site. Although the structure in WordPress database is terrible, but somehow he managed, and data is in live now, so client is happy. And
Have you wrote the source plugin for WordPress?
no, he was my intern, and he do a lot of queries and prepare rows in that way. Yes, in ideal world there should be some plugins, but it was client work, so client works means on time. Okay. Yeah, and remember that tomorrow is code sprint. Unfortunately, I will leave at 2 p.m. and as I know, the code sprint starts at 1 p.m. So I will be for 1 hour. I can start to showing what's on where. You can easily fork this module, make your changes and make pull requests. So we will review and hopefully merge. So this module is public and you can use it for your client works as an example or starting point. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.